Hello, everybody. I just want to welcome you to another interesting session right here. We are going to be having a good time as we analyze this very eye-opening video. This is going to blow your mind. If you are a youth of the southern Cameroon, you're below the age of 40, and you want to see transformation in that nation. I'm talking about sustainable transformation. Then this video is for you. If you are above the age of 40 and you're from Cameroon and you believe that we can achieve these goals, we can achieve peace, we can achieve unity, we can achieve freedom and prosperity without bloodshed, then we welcome you. If you think the only way to achieve these goals is through bloodshed, then this platform is not for you. We want to institute sustainable change in Cameroon. And as we get into 2024, or if you are in 2024 already, I just want to let you guys know, stay glued to your screen. This video is an eye opener for you. The video we are about to analyze, you see, these are leaders that we have in the diaspora. Some of them have been advocating for cessation, advocating for Ambazonia, advocating for independence. I have taken my time as a strategic business consultant. I've analyzed the data, the history, our evolution as a people. And what I will be disclosing to you today is the truth about our nation and our future. When God revealed these things to me and I started writing them down, I did not have all the relevant data. You know, friends, that if there is a problem, you don't just look at that problem from one side, which is what they have done with this whole Ambazonia idea. Some of them have gotten to a point where they said, now we were next, we were colonized. And I'm like, where's all of this coming from? You see what I'm saying? And my message to all the young people, as you will look into this video, learn to question your leaders. Do not just accept anything they say as truth. Avoid hearing stories from one side. This will save your life, because you know for a fact that a friend will come gossip to you about another friend, and you take that story from one side. Maybe you start acting based on that information just to hear from the other side, and then you realize that the person who shared these stories with you told you completely something different, and they were biased with that information. And that is what I've discovered. And I asked these leaders the question: have you tried to talk with anyone from the French side that was at the Fumban conference, which is where you guys base your premise for this argument? Have you talked to any French authority or any French leader that was present at the Fumban conference? All of them said no. I'm like, then why should you even say fight, go die, go to war without asking these questions? Do you know what some of them said? The reason why we started this war was because the government declared war on us. They started fighting us, and that is why we went to war. That is what some of them have said, and which got me thinking. Because, friends, the truth is, we have a social contract with the government. Every government, the citizens of that nation have a social contract with the government, and that social contract includes bringing about peace when there's disorder, bringing about law and order when there is disorder, Are you guys understanding? So what happened in 2016 that people presumed to be a declaration of war is what happens in every other nation. Right here in the United States of America, if you've heard about the George Floyd incident, which I use a lot, people got on the street and said, no, enough is enough. We want change. We want this to stop. The police brutality is too much. There were a lot of people on the street and some lost their lives. Are you understand what I'm saying? This group of people who went on the street didn't say the government declared war on us and started fighting. They didn't do that. Do you know why we started fighting with the government? Because we have been conditioned to think that the government was our enemy. And someday, if we get a chance to separate from this nation, we will do exactly just that. And so the slight push will trigger everybody into the mode where we found ourselves right now, or where we find ourselves right now for the past 7 years. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? And I just want to say, Amber boys, what is going on right now with you guys? It is not your fault. It is not your fault. And I'm so glad that you guys decided this year, because the number 8 is the number of new beginnings. So when you hear 8 is synonymous with new beginning. I want to let you guys know that just taking a close look at this data, I've been able to understand exactly what the problem is. And I have also come up with a compelling solution that will help us bring transformation. Take our nation from where it is right now to becoming a first world nation, the first world nation in Africa in the next 20 years. Able to move Cameroon from where it is right now to becoming a first world nation in the next 20 years. We're going to be looking at a senior citizen that is older than most of these leaders that have been indoctrinating you, because they will say, oh, you're young. Maybe you're very young. You don't know about what they are talking about. So we are going to go past their generation and listen to someone that is way older than every leader who is alive fighting for this movement. And we are going to hear from them. And that is how you get data and get facts and make sense of your reality. If you cannot get data from the current generation or the older generation that is alive to make sense of your situation, you go to the older generation. And if you go to the older generation before this generation and you don't get it, you keep pushing backwards till you find data that can help you make sense of your reality. Because there should be no reason why, if you're fighting a just cause and you are not winning, you're fighting a just cause and then you keep dying. You're fighting a just cause and you're losing. You have to step back and evaluate every step of the process and be able to understand if what you are fighting really makes sense and what is the reason why you're not making progress. Does that make sense? That is how people win in life. You see the white people that you guys look at on TV, that is how they operate. They work from data. Amazon is able to sell millions of products today because they have valuable data about their customers. They understand their customers' buying habit. So they are able to sell to their customers efficiently because this data is available. If you want to solve a problem and you have the right data, there's no way that you should be struggling to solve that problem. If you're struggling to solve that problem and you have to solve that problem through shared will and determination, then you probably don't have sufficient information. You see what I'm saying? To act on so that you have perspective. Does that make sense? So guys, let's jump into this video real quick.
What way we been in the fight? It been busy. Make what man live with country. Me now we rule.
Time for Makiza. Waiting exactly.
Okay. So right, the mom says that the fight was all about this. This is a senior citizen, right? She's probably in her 70s, and she is coming from the previous generation. And this video was recorded a long time ago. So a brother from Denmark sent this to me, and this mother explained exactly everything that God showed me about Cameroon. Everything that God showed me about the blueprint to move that nation from where it is to becoming a first world nation. This brother sent me this video, and after watching it, it's going to blow your mind. It dismisses everything about age, ignorance, whatever they want to label you as the reason why you should keep fighting. If you say they should go fight, they will say they're too old. And then, oh, you say, I don't want to go fight. They say, oh, you go fight. You're young. And then you say, okay, you go fight. They say they are too old. You see what I'm saying? And then you say, okay, I want to talk. They say you're too young. You see how they go? You say, I want to talk about this problem. I want to understand what is going on. I want to make sense of it. They say you're too young. You say, okay, you go fight. They say, no, they are too old. They got to be drafted up to 35 and they are both 35. So what I'm saying is this dispensation, the people from 40 and below in Cameroon will make the decisions that will move the future of that nation forward. We are not going to sit back and in the next 20, 30 years, we are already in our 50s, 60s, and we are singing the same song that they are singing right now. Or some of us are keep dying because of what they are indoctrinating us to do right now. Does that make sense? So she said the reason was we didn't want white influence. So let's keep watching.
How would be which kind of fight would be fight, and what thing would be really want?
We been one that say make Cameroon get correct independent, no be for under somebody, because Cameroon as them been give take way for German. Give them for French, man and English. Then mean give them say time correct and give we full independent. May they no give now have one.
Okay. But as
okay. So mom is saying that what we wanted was full independence, total control of our land, our resources, everything. That is what we, the people of Cameroon, both French-speaking Cameroonians and English-speaking Cameroonians, we wanted complete independence from the white people. From Britain, from France, we wanted complete independence. Does that make sense? Some leaders have told you that, oh, we were colonized. But mom is saying under UPC, which was the party that she was fighting under, they wanted complete independence. And the good thing about this video is this mom is from the English-speaking zone. So pay attention to her carefully. Share this video to every Ambazonian group on the ground. Share this video to every citizen of English-speaking Cameroon and French-speaking Cameroon as well, both home and in the diaspora, so that they can listen to this content because it will give us perspective. Knowledge is power. The right knowledge is power. But most importantly, ultimate power is wisdom. That is the application of knowledge. Does that make sense? Let's keep listening.
As they can't give Cameroon to English Cameroon to the French. So, but why you think say they no be fit give English Cameroon to Nigeria when Nigeria self na English when they talk way for fit be easy?
No, not because them been give way for English man. Now you where we be they talk English, but Cameroon that time where German been the rule way that side for France and English it been be one. We been be one. Go read for your land. We been be one. Now that time where them been divide we where them been win German. Now you where we been speak English. Then that side they speak French.
Okay. So but you think that a mistake they make as a divide to our brother, divide on for two, take one part, give them for Nigeria, take another part, give them for Cameroon.
You know had and 100 offer. We been don't be offer. We been die. The time where them win German for war. We they offer. English man no fit tell we true. French man no fit tell we true because we be offered. We pan no day. They mean win German for war we turn offer.
Yeah, but mommy
okay. So mom is saying we were one under Germans. That is in 1884. When you say this, people are like, what? Yeah, that is where we have to go. If the data that we have available, the 1960 data is the 1961 data is not helping us to have perspective with this problem, because these are people's lives we are dealing with here, right? We go back to 1884 and we go back to 1472. And that is how far I've been able to stretch my thinking with this whole struggle that we are dealing with here. You don't solve a problem from a surface level. 1960, 1961 data is insufficient for us to make sense of our existence as a people. Do you understand that? We were one people under German. We were one people under the Portuguese. And from what you hear from mom, most of our great-grandfathers or our grandfathers, I'm saying this because my dad lived under Germans and lived under Britain and France and lived under the Paul Biya's government. My father passed away at 87 in 2016. That is when my father passed away. So the knowledge that he transferred to me is like is the information of like 3 generations. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not ignorant here. You get what I'm saying? So besides my research, I was raised by a dad who passed away at approximately 87 years in 2016, which means he experienced the life we lived under Germans. He experienced the life we lived under Britain and France, and then the life we lived joining together in 1961 right up to present date. Do you guys understand? And that is how we make sense of our problems. And then today, after hearing this is what changes us, right? When you go to school, you learn something new. It challenges everything you knew before coming into class. And then you start acting based on the new information that you heard in school. That is education. That is wisdom. That is transformation. Does that make sense? So what happens is we have to understand that our history, our evolution as a people goes way back. Some people will tell you, oh, who was the president under German? Who was the king under German? No, we had monarchs and the Germans were ruling. The Germans were ruling Cameroon at the time. It was a nation. It was a nation. It was a territory. Does that make sense? So young people, do not be deceived. Do not be fooled into thinking that somehow the French are your enemies. They are your brothers. And you understand very soon. What we need more in our nation is love. And if you're listening to this video, there's a number on the screen there. I don't just only want to speak to you. I want you to call. If you have a contribution, call. Call and give us your feedback, what you think. We want to hear your perspective on everything. What is your story? What is your experience with the struggle? We want the general nation, everybody, both home and abroad, to hear your perspective or as to your experience and what you were told. Because only the truth shall set us free, if that makes sense. So with that, let's keep listening to mom. So you've heard it. They said, oh, no, they ignored the history on the German. They ignored the history of us living together as one people. So keep listening, guys.
Yeah, if you go back now and say for today, right, you go look at the other brother where they be called give Nigeria. Yeah, those ones, they like say that they happy for where they be. So what do you think say happened to this other one that went join Cameroon? And if we be really want independence, you just say your other brother them for Nigeria, where they be called give Nigeria, they for agree to come join when again, make when become one country.
Yeah, na Englishman been food them. Na Englishman been go for cheap them. Now why that way food in the being compensate, make it any fun more hand for politics. Because that time them be that people their eye no be don't clean. Then go look na fun because we respect fun like a god. Then go look na fun them. Give that 100 pound, 1 land rover, 100 pound. Fun talk what way fun don't talk. Then green their own say fun don't talk before then for that water. No be saying that them been like that.
Okay. Okay, but
because them been divide way. I want to repeat again. Because them been divide way two parts. Give that side for Frenchman, give this side for Englishman. Now why that this side be the talk French, this side they talk English?
Okay.
Are you guys understanding? We were all one people. Which is what makes all of this dividing absurd. This fighting is absurd. And today I want to let every English-speaking Cameroonian to understand that since we came together, our people insist on federation because they don't want us to join and be one like we were under Germans. The French-speaking Cameroonians love us so much that they have been fighting extremely hard to make sure that we become one. It is important that we have clarity on everything. Clarity. If I'm not clear, I will not take action. Because at the end of the day, ask yourself the question, what if you realize after fighting that you were all wrong? That is a part people like, no, we cannot be wrong. We are right. Our parents told us the truth and what they are saying is actually true. How sure are you about that your parents are telling the truth? How many of you have been lied to and you believed as truth? And it turned out that the people that told you that story that you believe were not telling you the truth, including your parents. Then what more of stories that have been transferred from one generation to another? Today, just listen to your leaders. They say, oh, they came and infiltrated our land and just came and colonized us. Is that what really happened? They don't even talk about the Fumban conference anymore. They're like, no, these people just annexed us, they colonized us, they marginalized us. All of these strong statements that they are using is not realistic. And we don't want to be emotional about this. Yes, I was born in Northwest Bamenda. I grew up in Northwest Bamenda. And I have love for my nation and I have love for Bamenda. And I want to ask you the question. You think that after doing my research and everything, you think that I don't like Bamenda? You think I don't like Northwest? You think I don't like Southwest? You think I don't like the English people? I like us so much. But I want us to do things the right way so that we don't end up becoming like fools in the eyes of the world. So what I was saying previously was our leaders, after thinking about this idea of secession, maybe they haven't told you back home, or maybe they try to disguise it. They've traveled to every nation in the West. They've gone to the United States. They've gone to Canada. They've gone to Britain. They've traveled to every foreign nation on earth that has the power to declare or grant them independence. And those nations have told them, no, go back and fix your problem. This is an internal issue. We cannot help you secede from French-speaking Cameroonians. They came back and said they will try with their best. They will try their best. They will try with their power. They're going to do everything. They will raise soldiers. They will fight till the last man standing. That is what they came back and decided to do. Okay, I'm like, okay, if this is what you've decided, you go fight. Because if I want to talk, they say you're too young. If I tell them to go fight, they say they are too old. Who will fight? Young people, they've used our generation as experiment. They've used our generation as sacrifice for their vision and their ideas that they have. We were not there. We were not there in 1961. We were not there in 19 or 1984. You guys were there and you saw what happened. And my question to all of these leaders is, what did you do? You stayed quiet and waited for us to grow up and trying to figure out our lives, because from what I've heard, Paul Biya's reign is much more better than that of Ahijo. Which means we grew up in a totally different political climate and we're experiencing the best life and pushing through that system and trying to unite so that we can be able to have that Cameroon that we had under Germans. And these leaders came and they're confusing us because they are frustrated with their own lives. The pain that they are dealing with in their own lives, they're transferring that aggression on us and using us as pawns to go die in war. Send these old folks to war to go fight. They should go fight for their young people. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. They don't send the young people to war to go die while they stay back with an idea that they had in their mind and never worked hard to integrate in Cameroon to build that nation. The French people have always wanted us to be one, like we were under Germans. These people have always held the idea of Britain in their minds more important for them than the united Cameroon that it was under Germans. Are you guys understanding? This is where this fight is coming from. It's not like our French-speaking brothers wanted to hold the French identity so strong. Their objective was to ensure that we unite like we were under Germans. There are people misunderstood every action that they took for marginalization. Are you guys following where I'm going with this? I love our people, and we should know the truth so that we act on the truth and be free and not be ignorant and die. You understand what I'm saying? Let's keep listening.
Right, you go look at the other brother where they be caught give Nigeria. Yeah, those ones they like say that they happy for where they be. So what do you think say happened to this other one that went join Cameroon?
You see, mom is nodding her head. They are not really happy as you think. The fact that you think they joined Nigeria doesn't mean they are happy. Is Nigeria that successful? Hell no. Nigeria is not that successful. People don't know how to measure success. That's why they see Nigeria and they think Nigeria is that successful. There's no country in the whole of Africa with a GDP of up to $1 trillion. There's no country in Africa, none, with a GDP of up to $1 trillion. If you have not hit $1 trillion, you're not rich. You're not successful. You are developing. They call them developing nations. Africa is termed or categorized as a developing continent. They are not yet developed. Don't let anyone fool you. Keep listening.
And if when I be really want independence, you to say your other brother them from Nigeria, when they be called give Nigeria, they for agree to come join again, make them become one country.
Yeah, na Englishman been fool them. Na Englishman been go for cheap them. Now why that way fooling the being compensate, make it any fun more hand for politics. Because that time them be that people their eye no be don't clean. Then go look na fun because we respect fun like a God. Then go look na fun.
That's another aspect that God begins to show me in this whole struggle. We have to get to the place where we don't have chiefs, people ruling any territory in Northwest and Southwest based on birthright. The funds get into power based on birthright. And some of them are not educated. And if they are leading your people and you think that the gods, all this illusion that we have called gods, put them there. You see how some of them have run away? If they were that strong, their gods should protect them to stay. But they ran away because death penetrates them. Guns.
Give that 100 pounds. One land robber, 100 pounds. Fun talk, what way fun don't talk, then green their own say fun don't talk before then for that water. No be saying that them been like that.
Okay. Okay, but
because them been divide way. I want to repeat again. Because them been divide way two pass. Give that side for Frenchman, give this side for Englishman. Now why that this side be the talk French, this side they talk English?
Okay.
But why would not be join Nigeria?
No,
Nigeria no be
Nigeria no been be with brother.
But they no be treat una fine or
no, they not been the treat with fun. Time where them been give we for Englishman, then take we give them now for Nigeria. You the who clue ask some equal man or cut them through away for you seeking, you must pay. Me show you must then treat we like it's left so you who show.
But what I was saying is, guys, we've been conditioned by a lot of Nigerian movies, right? We've been conditioned by these movies. If you watch movies like Isakaba, Isakaba made you to feel like you were invincible, that if a witch doctor protects you, you go out there, a bullet can't penetrate you. And most of our boys believe in this concept. We've lost thousands of our boys in this war with this mindset of Odeshi, that bullet cannot penetrate you. And based on our research, we know that the only way a bullet can't penetrate you is if you have a bullet vest. If you do not have a bullet vest, a bullet will penetrate you. Nigeria has done more havoc to the psychic of the English-speaking Cameroonian than the French-speaking Cameroonians. They've conditioned us to think that you need to be in a cult in order to make money. That is not possible for anyone to be successful. Movies like The Billionaire Club. I remember growing up, we had a Billionaire Club. It was all about sacrificing someone to be wealthy. So there's no way for you to get rich. And most of this content they didn't tell you was just for entertainment purpose. So many people believe that. And you've seen the result. If you watch movies like The Kidnap of the Governor, most of our brothers are kidnapping right now for ransom. And do you know why they are kidnapping for ransom? Because they watch that in these movies. They watch that in Nigerian films that you can kidnap someone for ransom. We didn't know all of this. It was not a culture. We've never done this. Growing up in Cameroon, I've never ever heard that someone was kidnapped and they were asking for ransom. These movies have programmed us. And grandma here is helping us to understand that in those days, if you come to the marketplace and you just touch a product that a Nigerian man was selling, you must buy that product. That is how they treated us. If you touch that product, you will pay for it. And that is what Nigerians did to us. And today, that is why I'm encouraging our youth. Because of this mass killings, this group of people that have believed that they could go fight the government, they were not trained, and they've been programmed by these movies. I encourage every English-speaking Cameroonians, boycott Nigerian content. Unsubscribe to all their bloggers that appear on your Facebook. This will help you clear your mind so that you can start thinking straight. Because in order for us to build Cameroon to become a first world nation, the first thing is mindset shift. Mindset shift. Your mindset needs to change. And I've repeated that again and again. It's like a computer, right? You cannot get that computer to function with an old operating system. You have to format the computer so that you have a new operating system. So we have to format our brains. You cannot be watching upcoming artists from Nigeria, upcoming comedians from Nigeria, and expect to be creative in Cameroon. It doesn't work like that. You have to watch first world nations like America. Watch like China. Like great nations that are changing the world. You got to watch content that is coming out of those nations so that when you produce something, it will be of standard. You've seen Cancun to see the kind of films he's producing because he's lived in America. He has seen the quality. And so that can be reflected in the kind of movies that he produced. And that is why he makes the kind of money that he's making. And most of our upcoming comedians, you see how original they are. And I just want to let you understand that you guys got to get away from all of these films produced by Nigerians. And some of you feel like there's no way for you to make it in Cameroon without Nigeria. Mom is saying they are terrible influence. And I agree. We've seen that today. You understand what I'm saying? Boycott from their products so you can have perspective, have a clear mind to think well. Let's keep watching.
Say I'm for this shoe, then go say you must pay, and you deny you will go for what fee you met on lawyer na Igbo man, magistrate na Igbo man. You know get where you feel Joshua. We've been a slave.
Okay.
Are you hearing that? We were slaves. The magistrate was an Igbo man, the lawyer was an Igbo man, and so you're screwed. So warn our leaders, especially those who are forming alliance with Biafra. It is Nigeria. Forget about that idea that there's some Biafra. When the guy Sylvester Madu came to Cameroon to act the film, knowing that you guys were fighting a war, he came there to act the film and they tried to kidnap him. It was a Biafran leader that showed up to threaten and warn the Amber boys not to touch Sylvester Madu. My question was, if you are Biafran, Sylvester Madu is representing Nigeria. Why should you defend him? You understand what I'm saying? Why should you try to defend him and warn the Amber boys and you think we are brothers, we need to create an alliance and together we are fighting both Nigeria and Cameroon. Now, why do you have to come up and defend Sylvester Madu? So you see all this Biafran game, these guys are Nigerians and they should not come into your territory for any alliance. When they come in, to take them out will be another level of problems that you're adding on the one we already have. So warn them, and Amber boys, if you're listening to me, do not have anything to do with any Biafran. Do not have anything to do with Nigerians. Cut that relationship. You will pay dearly for it. And I'm coming today to remind us and make sure that we do the right thing. Because if we make this mistake, we'll pay dearly. We think it was just strike on the street, right? We think it was just a little strike. See, 7 years today. When you want to start something, ask yourself the question, can you sustain it? Look at how disunited these leaders are. Look at them in the diaspora. They've put you guys in this and see how they were just fighting for power. These people have been hungry for power. all their lives, and they have been looking for opportunities to exercise this power, and now they are fighting over it. And just get away from them. Wage war against the past if you will succeed. Whatever that past is, wage war against that past. That is what you should be doing this year. That should be part of your New Year resolution, that you wage war against the past if you want a compelling future in Cameroon. You got to wage war against the past and tell him, Dad, brother, sister, this story you're telling me about 1960, if you believe in it so much, take a gun, go on the street and fight. I'm not going to go fight for you so that you come tomorrow after I'm dead, and then you come take power, and then you write my name, and then you praise me, and you say, oh, this was a brave soldier who died. Don't do that for them. They've screwed up their lives, and they're old right now, and they want to use you as experiment. Let them go fight for what they believe in. Let them go fight for the Ambazonia that they believe in. Tell them to come down and fight. They will say no. They will tell you they're old. Go on the battleground and fight. If you cannot go on the battleground and fight, let that vision perish with you. Your time is over, sir. If you cannot fight, your time is over. We are going to take charge of our destinies right now. Young people are rising up. Ibrahim Touré just rose up in Burkina Faso, and he's controlling. They don't tell you that Ibrahim Touré is young, right? They don't tell you that. They don't say, oh, that's a small boy, so we shouldn't listen to him. No, you go say that. He's a general. He will put you to order. And that is what we are doing right now. You understand what I'm saying? Let's keep listening, guys.
So those people, they be control not too much. When I just want free, so I can rule my own self.
No, even my nose, that one we be no say we brother. Now is Cameroon we be no say we brother. Now that one with and speak French. We be no because
they always knew that their brothers were French-speaking Cameroonians. No matter the influence that they had under Britain and France, Mom is saying they always knew that their brothers were French-speaking Cameroonians. Do you guys understand that? And that is where I'm coming from. Stop listening to people who show up and tell you that they are self-made. We have ancestors. We have leaders that came before us. People will rise up in Northwest and Southwest and disrespect the legacy of Ninja Frunzi, and we fold our arms and watch them. It is a shame. We have some people that we look up to, and we must respect them. If you cannot respect Ninja Frunzi, I will never respect you. If you cannot respect Fon Angwafo III, I will never respect you. And that is a fact. Young people, anyone that disrespects Ninja Frunzi should not be respected. In the history of that nation, I want to repeat that again, because after we are done with all of this, we are going to have a Ninja Frunzi Day in Cameroon. We are going to have a Fon Angwafo III Day in Cameroon. That we observe these two people because they have done a lot for us in Northwest and the entire English-speaking zone. And other heroes in the Southwest that we are going to establish a day for them, that we respect that day. Just like in America, there's a Martin Luther King Day, we'll have a day for Ninja Frunzi. We will not disrespect the legacy of Ninja Frunzi in Cameroon. Young people, you got to question these people. Their intentions are evil. And you've seen it in their faces, in their eyes, in their actions. How they've dealt with money, how they have dealt with this struggle and everything. How heartless they are. You guys have seen it. And you want to keep fighting and thinking they're saying the truth? All this whole marginalization idea is all lies. They created it. They created the marginalization by refusing to cooperate so that we can be one like we were under Germans. They created it. And today they want to blame the French and take no responsibility. When there's a problem in lives, friends, you should be able to take at least 1% responsibility. And my question to all these leaders, what is that 1% responsibility that you take for this problem? What is that 1%? They don't take any responsibility. Question them. Don't let these old folks screw up your life. Question their every action. Why are you doing this? What makes you think you're right about this decision? Question them. No one should disrespect the legacy of Ninja Frunzi in Cameroon. Never. I don't care who you think you are. Some people were here before you came. Some people laid the groundwork for us to walk and be inspired and believe and have faith and have hope that we too, we can rise up, create a political party and be able to challenge the system and bring about change for the whole nation. Some people laid that foundation for everybody. To disrespect the legacy of somebody like Ninja Mfunzi is a disrespect to what it means to be an English-speaking Cameroon. A disrespect to what it means to be an English-speaking Cameroonian. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? That is what they said to you. If we don't have no heroes, then where are we going to? If we do not have any hero, anyone we can look up to, where are we going to?
Map the issue. We map the issue say we've been being a Cameroon. Nigeria, no be Cameroon.
Okay. You hear that? Our map shows that we were Cameroon. Nigeria has never been part of us. Do not make that mistake, and they know it.
So, I mean, okay, now I don't fight all this on a fight. So,
and I just thought I'd add something to this, because if you are a Cameroonian and you're feeling inferior because you feel like, oh, because somebody sent me a video today, and the video was all about what Nigerians think about Cameroon. The first thing they thought about was pepper. They say Cameroon is a pepper nation. That's what they know us for. And the interviewer had to probe, don't you know about Cameroon when it comes to music? Don't you know about Cameroon when it comes to soccer? They're like, and the answers and the response were not genuine. You see what I'm saying? Let me tell you guys, Cameroonians are more talented than Nigerians. Cameroonians are more talented than Nigerians. You got to have some faith in yourselves, guys. There is no one athlete from Nigeria that has been able to attain international recognition. Not one. Only Francis Ngannou from Cameroon can stand in a boxing stage in America and say, I am the best in the world. Only Francis Ngannou. There's no Nigerian celebrity, no Nigerian musician that can say, I am the best in the world. Nigerian musicians will say, I'm the best in Africa. It ends there. Samuel Eto'o can say, I'm the best in the world. Kylian Mbappe, the father is from Cameroon, and he was raised in France, can stand and say, I'm the best in the world, and that comes from Cameroon. Nigeria can only say, I'm the best in Africa. Are you guys seeing the difference? Oh, you guys thought, oh, they were good in music, and you guys are not good in music, and all of that. Lebianka sang one song, and had a BET award from Cameroon. You guys need some faith in yourself, guys. One song, and it went platinum. And she took the BET. And every other Nigerian celebrity that you hold in high esteem were there. And she took that award. And the content of her song was superb. Because why? It could resonate with people, touch people's lives, and be able, the song had meaning. It was not just some gibberish or some talking about girls kind of stuff. It was a song that has meaning and could touch people's heart, and people could sympathize and relate with her song. That is the culture we have as Cameroonians. And get away with all these ideas that Nigeria will hold your hand someday to help you. They have not helped themselves. Talk less of helping you. They have all these flashy ideas on how to present themselves out there. I want to let you know, look at the budget that was spent in the song, the Rema song, Calm Down. And ask yourself the question, how much was spent to produce Lebianka's song? Do you know how many millions of naira was spent into that song, Calm Down, to push Rema to where he is? And it was his featuring with Selena Gomez that made that song go viral. Lebianka did her song single-handedly without any featuring, without any big budget, and put it on TikTok and YouTube, and it touched the whole world. When you look at how much went into the Rema song and to Lebianka's song, that is how you measure talent. That's how you measure how talented people are. Do you understand? Do not be deceived. Cameroonians are the only group of people in Africa that can say we are the best in the world. There is no Nigerian that can ever say, I'm the best in the world. They will only say, I'm the best in Africa. That's all. I'm best in Africa. I'm the best in Africa. But Francis Ngannou can say, I'm the best in the world. Etofis can say I'm the best in the world. Not the best in Africa, the best in the world. And that is what I'm talking about, guys. It came out of Africa. And they will say it and they will prove it. You guys are talented, you're smart, and you have more in you than you think. Let's keep listening.
Now all these new people, they don't come now and then they rule thing for Cameroon. You think so this is where they rule Cameroon now, so they rule Cameroon according to the way whenever they fight to make Cameroon be?
Nothing. Now good way Frenchman give them who rule. Because the relation way they now Frenchman it is still bring it take we brought a put for before like a picture. Then it is in a rule country. If you are correct, like a thing not from for any Europe part through France before you come for Cameroon. If they come direct, anything they come direct. Now for they will be.
So.
Okay, so one thing I want to say about this France-Cameroon relationship, this is what happens, guys. And it happens in every nation. You understand what I'm saying? Especially African nations. When people don't believe in their presidents, when people are thinking that they will divide the nation, because this idea of dividing Cameroon, it goes way back as 1960. It's not today. These people have been planning for years and they know it. And I want to say this is the reason why even the seaport in Limbe is not developed. Because what if they invested the money to develop the Limbe seaport and then tomorrow you guys decide that you want to secede from Cameroon? What will happen to the economy? It will be in a wreck. What will happen if you guys were fighting right now and you shut down the Limbe seaport and it was the only seaport? You see what I'm saying? So because you guys have these ideas in your mind, the government has to be planning and putting all of this into consideration. And that's why we'll be deprived of a lot of opportunities because we are constantly thinking of separating. It is our own thing. It is my thing. Instead of seeing the nation as one, working together as one. This is how the English-speaking Cameroonians have always been thinking. And this is a handicap to our own development. When you guys are planning to overthrow the government will try as much as possible to create alliances with other nations. And France is the closest and France is strong. And so the president will make sure that every resource that is coming into Cameroon or going out of Cameroon, every product that is coming to Cameroon, France get a share of that. Do you know why? For protection. So that tomorrow, if the groups in Cameroon are too strong to defeat the president, France will come in and help him. When we start loving our president, loving our nation, we are going to reduce the influence coming from France. Do you understand that? It is that basic, but that is exactly what we are dealing with. If we start loving our nation, loving our president, we will reduce the French influence or the France influence in Cameroon, and we'll be able to have more for ourselves. This is a heart change thing, guys. We got to change our heart. That's why the Bible encourages us to change our heart, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We got to change our hearts towards our nation. This idea of cessation, my goal is that we lay this to rest this 2024. All this idea of the past and the old should be laid to rest, and let's be walking towards uniting our nation as one as it was under German. That should be our goal. And all these ideas coming from Britain and France, we should get away with it. We'll be looking at what works for our nation and not what our colonial masters are giving. If there's something good coming out of France, we will use it. If there's something coming out of Britain, we'll use it. If there's something we can see that Americans are doing that can help our nation move forward, we will copy from every good nation in the world and implement those systems in our country so that we can experience progress. This is how we have to work, guys, united. Not jealous of each other, not looking at each other and only looking for a way to kill one another, poison one another, hate one another, say bad things about one another. We are beautiful people. We have good heart. Let's not let all these Nigerian films and all of these ideas about people poisoning one another get into our system. We have to get rid of this culture. We are a loving people. That is how we were under Germans. That is how we were under the Portuguese. Cameroonians are one of the most peaceful, loving, caring people on the planet. And I want to remind you guys of who you are. Maybe you're forgotten because you've been brainwashed by these movies, brainwashed by all of these things you've watched on TV. And I want to let you know, you guys are genuinely good, nice, collaborative people. That is who we are in our call. And a mom like this is just throwing light to remind us of who we used to be so that we can have perspective and have a compelling future for ourselves.
So which means because of the way you feel, say the French government, they control way. So you think they get anything to do with waiting they happen for like the young people then for Cameroon, where all them they don't run go overseas, they don't abandon the country.
Then because since they know say the young people then go get sent for the final for us some say what you do, you Frenchman, what you do for ya? Then they make na only old pardon rerang for government. They not even like say maybe young man where if he bring your sen be for inside government. Now why?
Do you see that? They don't like young people to be in the system. That is why even in the diaspora today, you see mostly old folks, the same thing. They are talking about change, but even in the diaspora today, they are fighting for power. I don't even want to say anything about the government right now. I don't want to say anything about the government right now. I want us to deal with ourselves, because if we fix ourselves well, we'll be able to approach the government differently and we will handle that problem at that level. I want to start home, right from home. Let's fix ourselves and make sure that we are right. Right here, even producing contents like this and trying to open people's eyes so that we can see the truth. Some people still tell you that you're young. And it's this kind of people that can poison you. Is this kind of people that they don't have sense. They don't have the brains. But yet they just want to have their voices heard because of their age. And in this dispensation, it's not about age, because there are a lot of old fools. People who are old but have no sense in their head. And they are ruling your life. They are controlling your destiny. They are telling you to pick guns and go fight. And they don't want you to even think or question what they are saying. Because truth be told, guys, you when you came into this world, you knew nothing about this struggle. When you were born, you knew nothing about this. Growing up in your life, you had nothing to do with this. You were not even thinking like this. Someone sat you down and told you what you are doing right now. They conditioned you and made you to do what you're doing right now. Is that true? When you were growing up innocently, playing soccer in the community and just being a child, you had none of these ideas in your head. You were conditioned to think the way you are thinking right now. And that is why I'm asking you, how true is that information? Can you question it? Why are you going to die? Why do you want to go lose your life? So that you can let these old folks come around and then at the end of the day, we have no young person to build a nation? Is that what you want? Obviously, no. You should be able to get married to. You should be able to build your own house. You should be able to have a life for yourself. You should be able to travel abroad to and have a good time. You should be able to start a business in Cameroon. You should be able to enjoy the Cameroon dream as well. But they will cut your life short with these ideas. Do you see how powerful ideas are? And that's why I'm bringing to you new ideas, so that your mind can start thinking in a different way. Because I've lived here in the diaspora and I know all of these old people, and I just want to let you know, you got to take your destiny in your hands. Most of them have not had a good time here in the West. I'm telling you, most of them have not had a good time here in the West. And I just want to let you know, your destiny is in your hands. And if you listen to what I'm saying today, young people, these people never grew up in the time of the internet. They don't know how Facebook works. They don't know about how YouTube or TikTok works. See how Tizik Pancha in Cameroon is able to get the attention of Rick Ross in America. They don't know how to do that. These old folks don't know how to do that. They know how to drive to these offices and knock doors and they tell them, no, we don't want no cessation here. We don't want no cessation here. You guys go back home and fix your problem. And they leave and they are stuck. Because why? After 40, it is hard for people to change. That's why they say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. There are three kinds of people, guys, and then we'll keep watching. Three kinds of people in this world. There are people who learn from their mistakes. Those people are sad. Those kind of people. The people who learn from their mistake, they are sad. The second group of people, they learn from others' mistake. You learn from other people's mistake. Those kind of people, they are happy. And then the third group of people are those who neither learn from their mistake nor other people's mistakes. And those kind of people are fools. A fool at 40 is a fool forever. And if you're following a fool at 40, you are screwing up your life. The Bible says if the blind man lead another blind man, they will fall inside a pit. Do you think that these leaders have your best interest at heart and they are telling you the truth to go die? What you are fighting for, many people have fought wars in history. And most of them, they realize at the end of the day that it was not worth it. Let's keep listening.
That way French man they do.
Okay. So, me as it did now, so, all these young people when don't leave country, when some several go still leave country. Now, what will be your advice to our government when go at least try to make things, so make all this our young people, they go for other country, may they stay for home so they fit develop.
On a revive say, me then come back. Me any Cameroon boy, where they outside, he don't gather, he unsend, he on idea, he come. Anyone gather, he on idea come. Me wish it talk several rounds soon. Man bring you unsend, where you don't want learn. For how we fix it with country day. Me we join together, fix it with country. Because
that is exactly what we should be doing. Wherever you are in the West, wherever you are abroad, you should be learning something that can help transform your nation. That when we come back collectively, not just going abroad and trying to make money or getting a menial job that you think will pay you very fast, but something that will sustain your life. That when you come back and establish a business, it will benefit others and benefit you as well. And that is exactly what we will be doing in Cameroon. And in the next 20 years, we will establish those industries that will free us from poverty and stagnation. You understand what I'm saying? That is the initiative. That we don't go out and die outside, or we go out and get old outside, but we come back home when we are still young with this fresh energy, and not let some old person tell you you are still young. That is the greatest insult that they will throw on you. And that is the trap that they will put you in to tell you you're young, so that you will not be able to achieve your dreams and let God do what he ought to do through you. By the age of 33, Jesus Christ was done with his work on earth and he was ready to go to heaven. At the age of 33, Jesus Christ was done. At the age of 33, Alexander the Great, the greatest fighter of all time, at 33, he was done conquering the whole world. Those are the kind of people that I draw inspiration from. Ibrahim Touré right now at 34 is the president of Burkina Faso. You guys can rise up from Cameroon and be leaders. Even if you're 20, even if you're 19, you can start leading in Cameroon and initiating change because you are smart and you're knowledgeable and you know what works. And don't let anybody tell you you are young. And this statement, we have to abolish it in our land. That age idea, we have to abolish it. You value people based on what they bring on the table, not based on how old they are. Kylian Mbappe is a very young person, but he has achieved more in his life right now than most old folks in English-speaking zone will ever achieve in their lifetime. Kylian Mbappe, the young guy that the father gave birth to in France, has achieved a lot, and when he's coming to Cameroon, you respect him. Stanley Eno right now in Cameroon has achieved more than most of these old folks, even in the diaspora, that are trying to tell you you're young. And they tell you you're young so that you don't go out there and be who God created you to be. Are you understand what I'm saying? Lebianca is very, very young, but she has achieved a lot, and everybody, almost the whole world knows her. And most of these people telling you not to do what you ought to do because you're young, they have not achieved up to half of what Lebianca has achieved. And so you tell them, you keep quiet. Take that your age to the grave. It doesn't work here like that. If you know that you're old and you cannot contribute, stay quiet and listen to those who contribute. This life is not about age. In this life, it's not about age. It's about what you know. It's about what you can do. It's about what you can contribute. And so if your age is worrying you, try to put some knowledge behind that age. People who are smart and old, they respect young people who are vibrant and coming up. Those who are threatened and they use their age is because they don't know anything. And don't let them stop you with their age.
But if them be scattered soon, me I know see say Cameroon go come follow what where UPC been the one time.
Thing for the sake of all those people when die, when lost their blood, only to make Cameroon be a fine country.
Where my own advice where I talk busy, I talk now for young boy them. I know they talk now for the old people because me.
It's good that she keeps insisting that you hear that this is your time. Young Cameroonians below the age of 40, this is your time. Grandma is saying, I'm not talking to these old folks because why? Their brains are stuck. They are stuck in the past. And she's talking to the young boys, young girls that are still thinking, have life ahead of them, that it is your responsibility. Because if I was saying it, they were like, oh, you're young. No, I want grandma to say it. And she's sending the message, even at this age, to us, the young people, to rise up. Don't fold your arms in that nation and thinking that somewhere there's a magic button that we are going to press and all our problems will go away. We are the ones to stand up and take initiative, take action, reason. Because if you cannot come on the table where you've kept your brain in the house, your brain has to be with you so that you think for yourself. And that is how we change our nation. Amber boys, I'm talking to you guys as well. Think about your actions. Is this a just cause? Is it true? We were one under Germans. Have they told you that? Our history has existed for more than 506 years, and they are telling you about 45 years under Britain and France, and they want to use that. Anyone that want to use 1960 as a foundation to let you go fight, they are a pro-colonialist. Do you understand that? They are pro-colonialism. And they are anti-Africanism. Because anyone who wants to use colonial demarcation as the reason why people should go fight, it means they honor the colonial heritage. So they are not anti-colonialism. They are for colonialism. That is why you respect those boundaries, that you are willing to let people go die because of those demarcations or the language that you inherited from Britain. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if they tell you go fight because of his demarcation, they are really saying that they are for colonialism. Do you understand my logic? Let's keep listening.
I say politics for Cameroon, for the old people, man, mine I belly. You know, they might say we country. Man, no, the class say we country. And they talk now for the young boy, then say, make you wanna know, say, una country be very important. Then, me wanna follow na full way UPC be in the one time. Me will country stand. It be fun.
Okay, but you know, say the reason why they be do all that in the so that made it take away, make them make sure say we not get any power. Mm-hmm. So if we decide something, they say we want make the vote or anything, make we be in our own country, it not go happen. You know, so
we not true because for UPC being not say Cameroon now what UPC.
Do you hear that? This young man asking this grandma these questions, we have been conditioned, right, that the reason why we don't have the factories in the Northwest is because they shut them down, because they know that if they empower you, someday if you want to say, let's vote again, if we want to be together or we want to go our separate ways, then we won't have the resources. This is how we young people have been conditioned today. You will say, oh, that's why they don't want to create the seaport in Limbe, because they know that if they create a seaport in Limbe and we become that rich and we decide someday that we want to move away from French-speaking Cameroonians, and then it's going to be an issue. And Grandma said that is not the case. This rhetoric is coming out of our mouth based on the conditioning of these older people that we see today. And Grandma said, no, under UPC, we were one. We knew that we were one. Are you guys following my logic? Are you following my understanding right here about this whole situation? That we were one. And so the French-speaking Cameroonians, all they have been fighting for all this while is to make sure that we understand that oneness is important before we start development. Because when people are not united and you develop and they have this idea to secede or divide, guess what? The whole economy will be in a wreck right now if everything was developed in the Northwest and the Southwest, and then we decide to shut it down. The whole country will be in a standstill. Which is what the English-speaking people, especially those in the Northwest, have always loved this idea to secede from the nation. And I want to let you guys know, young people, we got to get away from this idea and be able to integrate understanding that we were one under Germany. We were one under Germany. We were one under the Portuguese. The whole nation has to come together. English and French should not be a determinant of the destiny of English-speaking Cameroonians. I repeat that again. English and French should not be the determinant of the destiny of English-speaking Cameroonians. We were one under German. We were one under the Portuguese. In 1472, in 1884, we were all one. And you have to read carefully what that term mandate, what does it mean? What does the term trusteeship means? When Germany was conquered from that war, they placed us under a mandate system. That is, they gave power to Britain and France. It was temporary. It moved from mandate to trusteeship. That is, they were preparing us for independence so that we can be one again, as we were under Britain, as we were under Germans.
No, say this one at tribalism when Englishman and Frenchman they bring up.
What is happening? It is tribalism that English and the French they brought to us. We never knew that under Germans. We were one people. That is Mom saying it. Tell me Mom is wrong. Ask these people that come around and they are under the comments and they are hiding their faces and they are cowards and running around. Ask them the question, is Mom lying? They don't know this because they grew up in a time where the brainwash was in active mode. So they brainwashed them and they've done that to us. And that is why they cannot play with someone like me, because I think objectively and I will not just hear what you tell me and believe it. I will do my own research. I will read, I will study, I will understand the problem before I say something. And that is how we make a difference in the war. Not just moving around with confirmation bias. Like I'm just looking for someone to just confirm what I already know or what I think in my head. Are you seeing that all this fighting is wrong right now? There's no need for us fighting. We should be developing our nation right now instead of fighting. Do you understand that?
Cameroon for UPC, then we not say Cameroon be one. Then no be no say other side fit cheat other side.
Yeah,
Me says intermarket where they no say them go join Cameroon. But for inside UPC, there no be no difference, no be win and then be no say one you be Cameroon, you be Cameroon. Some one baba boy for your own the two now. You be in your own the two. You be parliamentarian. When I West Cameroon picking. It be parliamentarian for your own day. But now only West Cameroon we. According to how it and Sam say if he 105. No, then give.
And I want to say that makes me almost shed tears, right? Because your people, our people, after thinking that they don't like the country from 1960, they came back from the conference. If you look at Foncha's interview online, when you want to know if somebody's lying, because I've taken classes and read books extensively, just studying people's behavior when they're talking to know if they're lying, you see how he scratches the back of his head, scratches his hand, turn his head to the side and all of that, you can notice that he has an agenda that he's hiding. He came back and lied to us. You can see it in his eyes that he betrayed us. You can see it in Foncha's eyes. And the betrayal is not that we joined French-speaking Cameroon, it's that he joined and wanted to secede at the same time. And then planted that seed of secession in our minds. And that is what we've been struggling with all these years. That is the Cameroon problem. That is the English-speaking Cameroon problem. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? So guys, the number is right there on the screen. You guys can reach out to me. Feel free anytime. And as we are building a team, we want competent people, people who genuinely want change. You understand what I'm saying? Young people who want to rise up and transform that nation. That is the kind of people that I'm looking for. That are tired of the status quo. You're tired of seeing things the way they are and you really want change. If you don't want change, don't call me. If you want to be playing the game with the politics and the old people, just do that with them. If you really want change, call me. If you want a better life, call me. If you want to be able to drive your own car, have your own house, in the next 10 years, that is your goal, that is your ambition for your life, you want to build that nation, you call me. If you don't want that, keep playing politics with them. Keep fighting, keep kidnapping people and extorting money from them. If that is what you choose, fine. But if you are tired of seeing all of this and you want peace, and if you're in the diaspora, you want to go back home so that someday you can be able to build a life, build a business back home, call me. If you don't want that, keep playing the politics or you be passive. You stay quiet and just listen to all of these old folks ruin our land, ruin our people, and then we get up someday to blame them. Anyone who is quiet is not innocent. You cannot be passive. We got to be active. And that is what I'm saying. Because rising up to do the things that I'm doing here is because I know that we can achieve these objectives. We can be free. We can achieve unity. We can achieve peace if we unanimously decide that we want it right now. And that is why God is raising someone like me right now so that together we can be able to achieve these objectives. Are you guys understand what I'm saying? Let's keep listening.
Tribalism no been there.
So
Englishman, as they mean give West Cameroon for Englishman, it never been tough for development for West Cameroon. Rule where they maintain for West Cameroon na German been dikam. No be Englishman. Englishman no be do no development. It take West Cameroon, give them now for Igbo. Igbo begin me na say English.
Are you hearing that? And some people don't even talk about the influence of Britain in the English-speaking part of Cameroon. And Grandma is saying, Britain never did anything for us. They never helped us. There's some truths that I'm realizing right now. They never helped us. And yet we want to hold the heritage of Britain so hard, so strong, that we are willing to go fight and kill our brothers in the French-speaking zone or kill our own selves because of this English language that we speak, this English heritage, when the Englishman did nothing for us. And Grandma is saying all the roads that we have was constructed during the time of Germans. This is history, guys. This is facts. You cannot dilute this. You cannot take this and make it be what it is not. It says what it is. You understand what I'm saying? That is the reality check that we have to deal with.
West Cameroon boy them. So now I advise who may give them for West Cameroon boy them. Then talk for the whole Cameroon say, make Cameroon be left tribalism. Love themselves as the UPC been formed.
Let's love ourselves. Stop hating on one another. Stop trying to cheat one another. Stop lying to one another. Be together as one.
Because time we have been there, Maki, there no be no say Cameroon go John. But when a UPC been John, a form a John Cameroon, I've been there, we not been get differentiate. We been no say one you be Cameroon, you be Cameroon. So make them no say them be Cameroon and be united, form fix their country. And they are give them for picking them where they go to grow. Where they go let back the grow. Make them let back.
Be united and fix your nation.
Deny tribalism. Deny politics of stomach.
refuse tribalism. This is what these leaders in the diaspora are manifesting. Tribalism at the global stage. Groups that have been formed. And those groups are more important than your safety and the liberation of our people. Those groups have been more important than integrating with our government. We prefer our villages. We prefer the tribes more than the unity of the nation. Nationalism is not present in our minds. The aspect of nationalism. Every great nation in the West that you admire today, they have that spirit of nationalism. They have love for themselves and love for their nation. We don't have that in Cameroon. That kind of love. You know, when you go to your tribal dances and your tribal groups and you really dance and you feel it, they believe that if we let go, grandma in their time, if we let go of tribes, we can achieve unity. And that is what they had. Their unity was more important for them than the tribes. We've lost that today. We prioritize the tribes, the tribal groups, and all the tribal cultures over the nation. And that is what we need to instill in Cameroon. See, guys, when you want to fix the nation, start by fixing yourself. When you fix yourself, fix your family. When you fix your family, fix the nation. Because if you cannot fix yourself, fix your family, fix your community, you can never fix the nation. And this is the mistake many people make. Because they want to fix the nation and thinking that somehow they will be fixed, or their families will be fixed, or their community will be fixed, and then their nation. It doesn't work like that. You got to start with yourself.
Okay. So anything else? Now all that you get to say, you get anything else where you want to add anything?
I pass this one. Political stomach. Love themselves. No say them be Cameroon. Cameroon, no. Someday some man tell me then go to talk say a year for radio say Cameroon na poor country. Me I been go for some meeting for CBDM. I say Cameroon no be poor country. Country will be rich like a Cameroon for West Africa. They no plenty. No plan no there for Cameroon where you plan you no go harvest. Cameroon, it get how many seaport? Any country we get seaport for one day. If it then been the whole of seaport for Limbe, the one for Tiku, the one for that one for one day. How many money where the interday? Before them go say Cameroon a poor country. You plan any place for Cameroon, you have say Mike picking them. Cameroon no be poor country. If you una handle una country so fun, una no go people, then go be in a last rich country.
That is exactly what God showed me. That there is a high possibility of Cameroon becoming a first world nation in the next 20 years. That is, our GDP will be in the trillions of dollars. We'll have approximately 3 million millionaires in dollars in Cameroon. And we will do that through industry, tech, businesses, construction, finance. We will look at the top 7 industries that are transforming the global economy, that makes the most millionaires in the United States and other developed nations. And we will replicate exactly what they have done and achieve a similar result in Cameroon. See, Cameroonians think globally. Nigerians think locally. They think about Africa. Francis Ngannou think about dominating the whole world. Why the celebrities in Nigeria are thinking about the whole of Africa? Samuel Eto'o is thinking about dominating the whole world. You see our thinking? There is some pattern with the way Cameroonians think. Cameroonians are thinking about taking all over the whole world, being recognized globally. That is our perspective. And as we stretch and follow some of these great leaders and athletes that we've seen come out of us, we will be able to blaze the trail, and Cameroon will become a first world nation, because that is how I think as well. The same way I see Francis Ngannou, I see Samuel Eto'o thinking, that is the kind of mindset that I'm thinking in business for us to help transform our economy. And if we follow these tracks, there's no way we'll be poor. Nigeria's GDP is approximately $440 billion. And if you divide that with the population of Nigeria, which is approximately 213 million people, you see that the GDP per capita in Nigeria is approximately $2,000. Cameroon has a GDP right now of about $45 billion. And if you divide that by 27 million people, you come up with the GDP of approximately $1,600. Nigeria is just more than us for $400. That is GDP per capita. So they are not that rich more than you guys. Do you understand that? And so if you guys are able to work extremely hard, you'll be looking at America. America's GDP is approximately 23 trillion, not billion, trillion dollars. And if you take that and you divide it by the population of America, which is approximately 300 million people, 330 million people, it will give you a GDP of approximately 70,000 US dollars. That is GDP per capita. That is the kind of nation that we should be looking at. So that if we work hard, we will get somewhere. But if Nigeria is your target, you work hard, what are you going to achieve? Nothing. You guys see what I'm saying? And that's why you got to stop listening to their contents, because it's just going to cloud your brain and you'll be thinking just within Africa. Some of your artists, they are scared to say, we want to be bigger and call Nigeria. They say, I want to be bigger than Kenya. I want to be bigger than Tanzania. No, say, I want to be bigger than Nigeria. I want to be bigger than China. It's possible. Don't be afraid to call it, because the Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. Say it. And through Mom's video, you realize, guys, we are just fighting a worthless battle. This battle, this fight is uncalled for, based on my analysis, looking at our existence from 1472 to present date. It is not cool at all. We shouldn't be fighting. It's a waste of time and waste of lives, waste of resources. We are destroying our own selves and we are destroying our own economy. You know what? You've watched all these Isakaba movies and you think you can go and act it out in real life. We've lost many lives. Do you know what is happening right now? Our crime rate in the world has gone high, which means very few investors will ever dream of coming to invest in Cameroon right now. They will not think like, oh, this problem is happening just in Bamenda or in Boya. No, it is like it's happening throughout the whole nation of Cameroon. And so investors don't want to come in. We are losing money, guys. We are wasting time, guys. And you're fighting the wrong person. The real person that you should be fighting is all this bad content that is programming your brain. The real person that you should be fighting is these old folks. Some of your parents with their ideas on cessation. That is your real enemy. That is your real enemy. I'm telling you the truth, guys. You will be shocked when you realize that this is the real enemy that you should be fighting. Believing in yourself, looking at what works around the world and following that pattern. And even if you don't have any talent, there are some smart people around. Just be watching them, because this nation is going somewhere. And as you watch them, you'll be inspired. Not be jealous of them, but you learn from them, be inspired. And then you'll be able to make your own life. In Cameroon. Where? In Cameroon. We are great people. We are great. So guys, I hope this session was inspiring and you got some value out of this video. Share with a friend. Reach out to me. Feel free. The number's right there on your screen. Reach out to me on WhatsApp. I would like to hear your story, what you've gone through in the struggle, your perspective on the struggle, and what is the way forward for you. That number is a safe space. You can contact me, reach out to me, and we'll be able to brainstorm. Every opinion counts. This is the new kind of system we are creating. You will not just sit in a vacuum and have someone dictate to you. We will think about what we think and know that is good for us, implement it, and get results. I love you guys so much, so much. I'm praying for you and I believe in you. And until next time, stay blessed. All right. If you like this video, you're going to like this other episode and you can watch it by clicking right here.